If you see a car wash anywhere along the way, maybe I could scoot this car off or run it through the car wash.
Sure.
It's so dirty. Yeah, it's covered with pine tar and everything.
Really?
Yes. I've got 22 pine trees in my yard that are over 120 feet tall.
I thought you were going to say 120 years old. This is my sister's street. This is when I moved here 20 years ago. I moved into the last house on the right. I think I showed it to you before. Down, it's Anthony Avenue. Anthony Avenue. And do you see that brick building behind the snow cone, snowballs? Right there?
Yeah, the red brick.
I'm gonna try to buy that to put storage. And you see all this is the penny tax. Have you heard about the Richland County debacle? Penny tax. They just did all this.
Well, this main street, I think, is pretty high priority.
Yeah. I just want to show you this last thing.
I know the guy who owns that.
Me too. These buildings, my sister and her husband just bought these buildings.
Wow. The little art gallery too.
Yeah. There's a huge story behind that. I'll tell you later.
It's red, don't pull it.
Okay. I'll wait until
The sleeve will fall off.
You're funny, man.
I've had this coat for a long time, and I bought it at a second-hand store. I think I bought it at that place in Five Points. What's it called?
Oh yeah, Gentleman's Closet. Yeah, it looks. It's a nice jacket.
It's too big for him, and the sleeves are too short.
Are you kidding? It looks perfectly sized on you, man.
Buttons are missing.
I knew the guy that owned this Exxon was the guy that owned the Exxon in Five Points called Skibo.
Yeah, right.
Remember Skibo?
Yeah, and there was some really kind of surly guys hanging around there.
Did you?
Watch out, you're going to slosh your stuff in your lap. Don't try to talk. Well, it clears up.
I paid for a girl to stay at that motel before too. One homeless drug
There's
fiend.
a motel over there?
Yeah, down by the park.
What?
Well,
oh, you're by Earlwood Park?
yeah, it's between here and there.
Okay. Isn't it nice to be with someone who's from here who can talk about stuff like this?
Yeah.
I mean, I hate you talking to someone and they say,
Speaking of which,
I just got here
this is one
last
of the
month.
nicest roads. Down at the bottom of this road, this gullet. Don't you love driving through there?
Oh yeah. Back when I was dating that TV journalist, the one who was like Brigitte Bardot.
Angela?
Yeah, Angela. She considered living down there. I remember we drove down through there and she looked at a couple of places and talked to them. They were nice looking.
Thanks for including me in your sojourn.
Isn't it fun to do something, just break your routine and do something else?
Absolutely, so good.
It's like a little road trip.
I needed this badly, more than you know. I wonder if I know that guy.
He looks like somebody I would know.
He looks like he's
I love
lived.
that cool shop there, Southern Rays. Being in that corner like that, you know, isn't that cool?
Yeah.
I think he used to be in Five Points. These new buses are cool, where they drive up and kneel down like.
Oh yeah. Like that. If they just had shocks. Can you believe none of the buses have shock absorbers?
Wonder why that. Maybe they don't really need them.
Oh, they need them. Trust me. It is.
How do you know they don't
rough.
have them? I never
'Cause I
known any
run them.
vehicle that didn't have one. Shock absorbers.
Well, you wait till you ride a city bus. Somebody, I guarantee you, somebody cut corners ordering them,
Mm-hmm.
and they said, well, you can save $1 million if you go without
Yeah,
the
you know,
absorbers.
like you're going to be driving around town. There's not going to be any bumps.
It's
Angelo's, that's a landmark.
It is.
Ought to do a painting of it.
Speaking of which, have you ever walked around the campus of this seminary?
I've stopped there a couple of times. I never walked around, but it's a beautiful place.
Oh, yeah. And you can actually, you've never been in the...
I love that architecture right there. I love that building right there.
Have you ever been in any
I
of
think
these?
that was an Architectural Digest when it was first built.
Of the 20 years I've lived here, I've only done it once.
I've never been in any of those buildings.
Well, trust me, it's worth walking in some of these buildings.
Especially that beautiful one over there with it.
I think that's the one. It's really pretty.
It was an
inside.
Architectural Digest. I remember seeing it in there. I worked for a couple of guys who were at the Lutheran Seminary. It was the first job I ever had. I ran a gas station for them. They had a little Sinclair station up on Millwood Avenue, which was 3 or 4 doors down from where I lived. And so my first job was part-time working at that gas station. And sometimes they would go fishing, like go for a couple of days. And I would run the gas station. I'd go in and open it, you know, do the cash register, you know. I actually greased cars on a rack, put them on a rack and put them up and greased them. Because, you know how I could do that?
No.
Because I grew up next door to a gas station, and when I was a child, it was kind of a social center. The gas station had had a pinball machine in it, and we would hang out
In
there.
Cottontown?
No, it was right there at the corner of Millwood and Woodrow.
Oh, that's right.
We would play the pinball machines.
This is after you lived near Curtis Wright Hangar. Didn't you live near Curtis, near Rosewood?
No, I never lived near Curtis Wright.
You said you used to...
I used to take my bicycle, ride all the way over there.
From Millwood?
Yeah, from Millwood. Yeah.
No kidding.
For a kid my age, doing that was quite a journey, you know.
No, I thought you lived near there.
I'll take a sandwich with me, you know. I just spend the day just watching the airplanes.
That's 321. That's a beautiful highway toward North Carolina. Have you done it?
Yeah, it's real pretty between here and Winsboro, too.
If you think that's pretty, keep going north toward Chester.
Oh, yeah, I used to go that road when
To Union?
my girlfriend Jan, you know, the tall Vogue fashion model girl, who looked like a Vogue, and she never worked for Vogue. Her grandparents' house, farmhouse was up there, and I would drive up there all the time. I parked one of my cars in their barn for about 15 years.
She lived near Blackstock?
She lived in near Shelby. Let's see, it's Hickory.
Oh, you drove that far?
Mm-hmm.
So you went right through Gastonia, where I'm from.
Yeah. I didn't know you were born there.
No, but my parents were.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where all their family. So that was all Christmases.